Ben Leber at Nacho Leber via X. Twin Cities Live, 3 to 4:30, Channel 5, each and every weekday. And with the turn in the weather that we are going to have here Sunday or Monday, with the heat index getting well above 100, today on Twin Cities Live, the proper SPF when the temperatures go from 80s to the 100s.
I always love that one.
Featuring Nacho Leber, who joins us now. What's going on, brother?
Well, not much. I guess to answer that question, what I have learned, and I think that we should all know this by this time in 2026, that, you know, it's more about the reapplication of the sunscreen and the SPF. And, you know, putting your sunscreen on first thing in the morning, thinking that it's going to protect you in the afternoon, not going to happen. And anything basically over 30 is a little redundant, and you don't need to go to 50 or 55.
Well done.
And I would probably lean towards more of the natural mineral sunscreen and zinc-based sunscreens than any of these other chemical-based sunscreens. So there you go. There's your TCL segment on 9 to noon.
Who knew? Pharaoh's sun god has joined us at 10:06.
I always love that one.
Lamelo and those flying elbows, Lamelo Ball. There's some loud Timberwolves news right now that popped at the end of the power trip, and I know you were on that radio show. Lamelo is here, and Naz Reid is gone. Those are the pertinents. You've been known to howl with the homies. Does this amplify your howl in any way? And good morning.
And good morning. It really does, because I look at it as a casual basketball fan as just what the optics look like from a Tim Conley perspective.
Like on ESPN right now, how scary will the duo of Ant-Man and LaMelo be?
I don't know.
That could be a scary duo right there.
Could be a scary duo.
Yeah.
If point guard was the missing link and the Dante DiVincenzo injury was as catastrophic as we saw play out, and we know that we're not going to have him for next year, we all were saying you can't just run it back with the same group. You got to make some changes. You got to add some pieces, even if it means you got to sacrifice some stuff. And in this situation, the sacrificial lamb was Naz Reid, and maybe the most popular player that I've had experienced in my time here in Minnesota.
Naz Reid.
So, yeah, I think it hurts from a fan perspective, but from what they're doing from a lineup perspective makes a lot of sense. And like I said, I love the idea that we can look at this franchise with new ownership, and what Tim Conley has already done, even what the previous ownership is, he's going after it. He's going to give these coaches and this team and this organization every single opportunity to go out there and win the Western Conference and get into the finals. So, same thing with Bill Guerin. I love what he's doing there. I think this sort of, I know that these teams are all independent. They don't necessarily communicate with each other. They're not getting together in some sort of cabal and saying, like, this is how we're going to run Minnesota sports teams. But I like this sort of feeling and ethos that within the Minnesota sports culture, it's like, let's be aggressive.
Yeah.
We're all chasing championships. We all get clowned for basically outside the Minnesota Lynx not winning any of the major championships. I just saw the infographic, how, you know, basically the top winningest NBA or NFL teams in history and where they are with Super Bowls. And I think the Minnesota Vikings were fourth on that list of most top winning franchise, and we had 0 Lombardi trophies in that column. So we are a very successful franchise and organization. We haven't won a Super Bowl. We have the Wild that are going out all after it. We have the Timberwolves that seem like they're going after it. We have the Lynx that are always going after it. And hopefully Nolan Teasley kind of picks up on some of that through osmosis and is like, you know what? I got to get after it, too, to keep up with these guys. These guys are some big guns. They're making some big moves. Maybe I got to do the same thing.
Yeah.
And we'll never fault him for taking big swings.
Teasley might be like, I saw Kyler 11 times. We beat him 8 in a row. I don't like him. I don't care what Goodell says.
That's so possible.
I don't care what Goodell says. Does anybody have a working cell phone number for Brendan Sorsby?
I always love that one.
I'm calling him right now.
Yeah.
Now, that'd be a big swing. Okay, 3-2. I'm I'm being painted right now a little bit more so within my personal covenant, my cell phone. I haven't looked at Twitter since the show started, as a ball basher, that I'm bashing Lamelo Ball because I've gone through his injury history. And I think because I've watched Lamelo Ball play a lot of basketball, and the way I described him was mercurial. He's a mercurial player. And like I said, Lamelo Ball is the name, and quirky, explosive, unorthodox, chuck it up from anywhere is the game. Okay, cool. Matt Lloyd, the general manager, Tim Connolly, the president of basketball operations, Finchy. I mean, they all know that, but here, so when I say that, okay, they traded Naz Reid for LaMelo Ball and Josh Green, and we got a bunch of pick swaps. When I say I have concern with LaMelo Ball because of injury history that, quite honestly, I've never seen with a player to this, when you really, really deep dive it, I think that's fair. But I'm also excited because when he does play, it's just a different brand of basketball with the elbows flying and 30-foot air balls, and then you can't stop him for 5 minutes. But then you get excited about him, like he scored 40 points. He came back from a bad injury in Charlotte and scored 40 points, averaged 40 points a game, 4 consecutive games. Then he steps on a fan's foot in the first row, and they lose him for like another 20. Right? Stuff like that happens with him. So that would lead to trepidation. But he also provides low-key euphoria because he's never played with Ant. The Hornets have a player, their second-best player, might even be their best player, but their second-best player is named Brandon Miller, and he's had injury problems during his career. Well, Jaden McDaniels might be every bit as good, if not better, than Brandon Miller. Because Jaden, when he started to get some chances when Anthony wasn't playing, we all seemed to like Jaden a little bit.
A lot.
Then Anthony came back. Julius was on the squad. Jaden's touches went down. Jaden's touches are going to go up now with no Julius and no Nas. I like that. We dig that. Jaden McDaniels should be a better two-way player than Brandon Miller. Now, that was the 1A to LaMelo during the latter stages of his career. They got this rookie named Con Knipple from Duke, ran second to his former Duke teammate, Cooper Flagg, for Rookie of the Year. Con Knipple can play. Anthony Edwards is a different beast. So LaMelo playing with Anthony Edwards, Ayo Dosunmu, if they start him at the 2 or the 3, and McDaniels, this is an awesome opportunity with a smart coaching staff for LaMelo Ball. So all of that, I think, is very, very fair. But see, then you get into this, all right? So it's starting in March of 2021. He fractured a wrist, missed significant time. It happens, right? You're a former decade-plus long athlete. Stuff like that happens, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's 2021. October of 2022, he has a left ankle sprain, misses 13 games. So then they get him back. 2 months later, sprains the same ankle again, misses 11 more games. I mean, how fragile is the left ankle? He sprained it this time, stepping on that man's foot. A month later, so they get him back again. A month later, he fractures his right ankle.
Wow.
So here we go so it is fair to wonder, like, what's up with these ankles? And, the Dr. C, who is the Don Sutton lookalike on the charter, the one who may or may not have worked with Caleb Banks' foot. We have a working cell phone number for this guy, with all due respect to all Timberwolves doctors. Might need it to see what's up with these ankles. So then now we have an off season, got all the ankles healthy. Into November of 2023, ankles are feeling good, man. The wrist is good. We're all good. Here comes LaMelo. He gets fans excited, scoring 26 a game with close to 9 assists a game to start the season. Bam. Strains his right ankle, misses a bunch of games. Comes back 2 months later after missing 20 games. Then he plays a few, about a handful. Well, then he's out for the rest of the season because they brought him back too soon. And they're like, the ankle's problematic. He's just not the same. Shut him down for the rest of the season. So now we get to the 2024-2025 season. Ankles are strong. Hearts are full. Optimism is high. He has a 4-game stretch in 2024-2025. He scored 40 points a game, And like I said earlier, he's looking like a cross between Magic Johnson and Bubba Chuck Allen Iverson. Well, then he misses the better part of a month with a left calf strain. And so now to that comes back in December after that, okay? And same year, he has ankle and wrist problems, and he misses more time. So it's the stop and start and stop and start. But see here, this is what's perplexing to me. Tell me what you think about it. So he played 72 games last year, second most in his career. That's cool. 72 games, 72 out of 82 in the regular season. Cool. Look at Lamelo go. But they managed it. He played 28 minutes a game. And I absolutely recall falling into some Charlotte games on TV where it was every single game, man. He starts, 4 or 5 minutes into it, he's out. Does not come back till the second quarter. Bubble wrap. So they're protecting him. That was just last year. 72 games. He's getting $40 million. With respect, players getting $40 million are supposed to play more than 28 minutes a game.
Yeah, for sure.
Like Jaylen Brown, all right, dog. Jaylen Brown, dog. He got $53 million last year. My man's playing 36 minutes a game, going for 28 a game. A couple of years ago, Kyrie Irving, he's getting like $34 million on average. And he's playing 37 minutes a game, averaging 25 points a game and like 5 rebounds and assists. See what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying.
To whom much is given, much is expected, but there was some bubble wrap around this guy last year. And I'm just wondering, is Charlotte and their hierarchy like, I don't really know if we can get more than we got out of him last year. So we need to move him. So what'd they do with the 18? They drafted point guard Christian Anderson Jr. from Texas Tech, and that guy is, as the kids would say, is a bucket. He can score. Okay, well, that's the replacement for LaMelo Ball. And he's a rookie, and they don't care. They're cool with that, playing with Con Knipple. And or is it, well, yeah, we understand what you're saying, and we know what this injury history looks like, but we believe the best is yet to come for LaMelo when you put him with these players we have here and this super learned coaching staff we have here. Everybody understand why I'm saying this is a conundrum? It ain't just me. It's a conundrum. It's an expensive conundrum. Know what I mean?
I think the way that you laid that out there is completely fair. And I think that anybody that hears that, whether they're going to go after you on the phone or on the KFAN just emails, if there's no part of that's being a hater about this thing. You're not against Ball. You're not against necessarily the move. You're just laying out the facts, and the facts are the facts.
Yeah.
And I didn't know all that stuff. That's enlightening to me.
I mean, it's right to be concerned and excited.
It's completely fair. Right. That is a completely fair assessment about the situation.
If you trade for Jaylen Brown, I'm not concerned at all. Right. I'm nothing but excited.
Right. And so I think what you brought up is was eloquent. It's logical to think that way. And now it brings up a lot of other questions because as we were talking on the power trip, I asked the guys, I said, listen, you guys pay attention to this team way more than I do. I watch from afar. I think it's exciting. But can you name the starting 5? And they said, we can't name the starting 5 because we don't know who the number 4 is going to be.
Right.
Okay, so if you still feel like you've got a hole at 4, and the way that you lay this out here with LaMelo, then you're actually telling me that you still need to fill that point guard, that number 1 spot, because
just in case, I mean, you got to have
a quality backup. You can't just have like a guy.
But see, Nacho, the way you laid out that quarterback deal here, it's analogous to this with what, it was O'Connell, Brzezinski et al., but now it's Nolan Teasley. Whether you like Kyler, whether you like JJ, whether you like Wentz, they all 3 can play. It for the younger of the 3 to describe exactly how McCarthy and Murray, how it will look or how they'll play. We don't know.
We don't know.
Can't wait to watch, but we don't know. And the past performances are not necessarily indicative of future results. But what have they done? They fortified the room with 3 of them in case injuries, ineffective nature pop up. That has to happen here off what you just said. When you sign up with LaMelo Ball, your 1A better be pretty good.
So you best believe that they're certainly not done adding to this roster, because if I believe what the guys on the power trip said, and even people out there that pay attention to it, if we don't have a solidified 4, and there's a lot of people that don't think that we have the starting number 4 on the team,
right,
well, then you got to go out and find that number 4. So there's a move there. And if LaMelo's injury history is what it is, and those are facts, and you project that to what it's going to be like in the next 3 years here, well, then you got to have, because if he's going to play 90% of the games last year, but be on a severe count, a pitch count, and they really manage his game load in the game, well, then who's getting those minutes when he's on the bench? Like, you got to find that guy, because you can't have your play drop off significantly, especially if you feel like you're building towards a true championship level team that can go against OKC, go against San Antonio, go against Denver for the foreseeable future.
Now, they do have this Josh Green cat, and I'm not suggesting that he plays the 4. I am suggesting that he would potentially be moved still for now as a trade piece to find somebody that fills that 4 role. Still trying to figure out, the mid-level exception and what fits into there.
Yeah.
I'm
free agency ain't great.
No, it's not, watch out for some of those names. You'll have to dig into some LFL style game logs. All of what you guys are talking about, the trepidation around the injuries, and then also, maybe you're thin in certain spots. All of that's accurate. I'm going to stay in the honeymoon phase though, because of what this cat can do with Anthony Edwards by his side, and the fact that we haven't seen that. And that for me is kind of where, and the injuries, we've joked about it, PA. You drafted him. I think you drafted him this last season.
It's the A topic with his career.
And we were all shocked that I think you get 70 plus games out of him. It was like, wow, that's crazy. Didn't expect that. You took a swing and you found it. You actually took a swing on Brandon Miller, I think, and then he was hurt. But to that end, seeing LaMelo next to Anthony is fresh. It is a swing of swings that he pulled off. That's where I'm focused at this moment.
Can I be controversial? Permission to get controversial.
Hold on. All right, it's ready. Go ahead. But on Twin Cities Live today, we're not talking about sunscreen.
No.
We're talking about just going rodeo on it when it's 113 heat index and don't wear any sunscreen. And this is Twin Cities Live, and I'm Ben Leber.
With this LaMelo move,
yeah,
and with the current roster,
yeah,
I am still concerned that we don't have the Jalen Brunson mentality on the team.
So that's Anthony Edwards might have just caught a stray.
Yeah,
I know it seems preposterous to think like I think it's possible to be a superstar, but still not be the mental lead dog to lead this team to a franchise championship.
That's controversial.
And I don't think that buckets always equal leadership. And when I watch sometimes in clutch moments, like, can he hit a big shot? Sure he can. But how many times did I feel like we were going down the stretch in the playoffs where instead of finding an open guy, being a leader on the court, it was just hero ball. It was just, I'm Anthony Edwards. I'm going to try to dribble my way out of this. I'm going to try to drive my way out of this. I'm going to take an errant shot, a fadeaway shot. Like what basketball people would say, like, not a smart shot.
Sometimes are we talking about LaMelo Ball or Anthony Edwards?
He's talking about Ant.
Oh, my bad. Go ahead.
I'm talking about Ant.
Yeah.
And then
I always love that one.
Then you bring a guy like LaMelo, which, has its pros and cons and all that other stuff. But I've also heard not an alpha in that way that you need an alpha for a championship level team. And
at least to this stage.
At least to this stage. Yeah. And I understand that there's recency bias. We look at the previous champion. We look at the Seattle Seahawks. How are they constructed? What pieces do they have? You look at, what the Knicks have done. Previously you look at what Denver was doing. I get all that stuff. Mm-hmm. And now recency bias would tell me, if you look at the way they're constructed, they have an absolute superstar stud in Jalen Brunson. He says all the right things. His demeanor carries through that locker room. And they need a guy like that in a giant sports market. Dude, he handled himself brilliantly. I don't think Anthony Edwards has ever handled himself like that.
But he had to grow into that role too. I mean, at one point we were talking during the playoffs, one of the impressive growth moments, we complimented Cat on not getting himself into foul L's so often, although in the final series, the Spurs did a good job of putting some on him. But Brunson used to be of the SGA foul baiting, histrionics, extended mannerisms after contact. He kind of had to grow into that role as well. And so while I 100% agree with you, I think that Anthony Edwards still has time to find that as well. I also wonder sometimes too with how ugly the offense went, and you hear Ant after games like, yeah, coach had a plan and we just didn't stick to it. How many moments, and that's on Ant. That's on Ant.
I guess that's part of what I'm saying is that right. And I know that you're given more context here, but I think I hear those interviews. I'm like, how many times do we hear that, hey, we didn't do what the coaching staff asked of us? I'm like, well, whose fault is that? Yeah. Like, you're admitting this is a player fault. You guys screwed up, and you're supposed to be the leader of the players, and you're the one out there not executing what the coaches want. And it's only in hindsight that you say like, oh yeah, I suppose the coaches were right. I guess I don't know as much ball as I thought. We heard that, I bet you, half a dozen times.
Now, in closing, because I know you have to go, one football related item.
Sure.
It shouldn't surprise me in the age of rage. And I guess I didn't realize, like, Ryan Grigson had been catching strays left and right.
Oh, my gosh, yes.
Yeah, okay, I didn't realize that until this morning. Well, my question would be why?
Like, you didn't realize that even when his tenure was here? You didn't, you thought that was just a recent thing? Or
if I saw it, I thought it was stupid, and here's why. Who knows? Maybe we may know. Who knows what he did? Who knows what he does? Who knows what he was tied to?
Right.
So people will look at like, hey, he was the general manager in Indianapolis and this, that, and that's unfair. You can't do that when you're the assistant general manager. This is a smart man, a kind man, and it didn't work out here, and he's going to go back to the Cleveland Browns.
Right.
So I think speaking for you, I wish Ryan Grigson incredibly well. What an awesome human being. What a wonderful, smart football mind Ryan Grigson is. So, then I'm looking up. It's just so much happening right now, Nacho. You got the draft last night. We got a guy from Duke named Showtime Slim. That's his nickname. Shoots it from anywhere, and he's good. Got Showtime Slim, Isaiah Evans. Then you get the Lamelo Ball trade. So then Kevin Gorg texted me last night from Grand Casino Arena because he knows I like the Commodores and Lionel Richie. Well, Lionel Richie's playing. He's singing Easy, the most popular song in the history of the Commodores. Then he falls middle of the show.
He does?
They have to stop the show.
What?
He had to leave. He couldn't even finish the show.
No.
Old people fall.
Yeah, I think he tried to get through another song. Like
Really?
He did something on piano.
Yeah, 3 times a lady.
And then he's just like, I'm out. And he left and never came back.
Yeah, so my mind is rattled over all that. I get here, I'm writing the LaMelo Ball speculation, not because of Substack Nation, but because Johnny K started writing about us. So I'm like, okay, Substack, whatever it is, be damned. Johnny Athletic's writing about this. We need to put something together. Then the trade happened. Minds are spinning. So then with the Grigson situation, getting ready for beloved Nacho in here, I went to research some stuff about Ryan just to get up to speed on like the who, where, when, and why. And I was looking at this stuff like, what? Why? What? How could people possibly tie together? This guy sucks, was overmatched, and I'm glad he's gone. I mean, I could sit here all day and write like, okay, well, why? What move was he behind you didn't like? You have no idea. Yeah, but then it quickly hit me to make it elevator music. Oh, that's right. This is the age of rage. So therefore, that's going to be the way a majority of people lean in the first place anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was ridiculous the amount of negativity he got when he was brought in here. I heard it early when he was hired here, and I was like, well, big deal. Like he's not calling the shots. He's like He's a football guy.
But
so
that's fair.
And I'm like, that, okay. I understand. We're going to pick apart every hire, and we're going to there's going to be some fans and there's going to be some critics. I understand that. I didn't hear a lot of it for a long time until we got to firing of Kwesi interim GM and Rob Brzezinski, who possibly could they hire as the next permanent GM? And when I started seeing that Ryan Grigson, just because he's on staff and he's had experience and all this other stuff, that he's a possible candidate to interview that job, that's when I heard a lot of the critics sort of bubble up again. Mm-hmm. And again, to your point, I don't even know what his real role was here with Kwesi.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what he was responsible for. I only know my own personal interactions with him, and I thought he was great.
Oh,
he
by
was
the way,
super nice guy.
Yeah, he was awesome.
He was an awesome dude. And I mean, we'd have to really dive deep if he was going to be a true GM candidate, but he was never named a candidate.
Let me ask you this.
GM.
Okay, well, they had another assistant general manager who also left the nest.
Yeah.
Yeah, Demetrius Washington, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking. Where's the? I mean, he was part of the bad drafts or the things that went wrong.
I think a lot of the
drafting.
Grigson stuff just followed him from Indianapolis. Yeah. That was the issue.
I mean, it's just the flippant nature of it.
Yes.
The only thing he ever did is he was bad enough to get Andrew Luck. Like I've been seeing that since he arrived in Minnesota.
All right. God bless you. Have a great time on TV today. Have a wonderful weekend. I'll see you soon.
Yeah, we'll see you soon. Have a good one.
Ben Leber at Nacho Leber, Twin Cities Live, Channel 5, 3 to 4:30 today, each and every weekday. More of your Lamelo Ball, Naz Reid related talkbacks around the corner. That's the A topic. The Minnesota Timberwolves reportedly, it's officially unofficial, have traded Naz Reid for Lamelo Ball and Josh Green with the Charlotte Hornets. Bunch of pick swaps in there. And we'll continue to recap it during the course of 9 to noon.
This is PA on iHeartRadio.
Before I got into the Ryan Grigson conversation, you were saying about LaMelo?
Oh, well, so what I wanted to kind of tack onto that. So Anthony Edwards, what I'm curious, this kind of rolls into the Julius Randle move. And this is speculation for me, okay? I'm rubing it up right now. But when we're talking about some of the things that might frustrate you in moments with Anthony Edwards' game, when, we didn't have Io in the mix and Anthony's really ball dominant and he's trying to distribute, but he's taking a ton of shots and good times, bad times as it was. Still a team that won a playoff series. But I wonder if there are aspects of this where Anthony was forcing the shot because he didn't know if he'd ever get it back. I mean, when you're talking about forcing up or taking bad shots or playing bad basketball and post-game you hear the player quotes that Finchie had a plan and we didn't stick to it, that's not isolated to your best player. That we talked just about the move with Julius, about how the stubbornness and the selfishness it felt like at times as he's trying to back guys down from the 3-point line all the way to the restricted area. And the turnovers that we saw and just some hair pulling out moments with Julius, some ill-advised shots taken from a Naz Reid, from a Jaden McDaniels. This was a situation that existed or really was pervasive throughout the lineup. So, I think that there could be an aspect of this, and there's a maturity that needs to take place. And I agree that an Ant at this stage, is he the bulldog that a Jalen Brunson is? Mentality-wise, maybe not. Not at this point. Jalen had to grow into that. It appears that he has, and now he's hoisting a trophy. With Ant, I think he can get there, but as we judge some of those moments, this is a guy that was playing, with one good leg for a fair amount of the postseason as well. And then now, with LaMelo Ball in the mix, I'm exercising a little bit of hashtag faith here that something like that we've been begging for, we're desperate for. You know what? We also have Io, by the way, so Io can occupy some of those minutes if Ethel sticks her leg out at Target Center and LaMelo misses 5 games. So I'm being maybe too rosy on this in the moment because the injuries concern the bleep out of me. But what he can do with the ball in his hands, and now Ant can maybe just be that star. Like I freaking love the possibilities there.
Okay, well then how would you percentage it up? Like for me, when I say concern, euphoria, trepidation, low-key excitement with LaMelo Ball.
That's what I'm feeling emotionally right now.
But why do I frame it up that way? because that has been analogous.
It's the story of his career.
To the young man's career.
You're dead on.
It's not just my opinion. It's a Charlotte Hornets fan's opinion. And I bet you,
it's the Charlotte Hornets franchise opinion, given what we've just seen now.
And I'm not, one to go chasing, like cat boards and things like that with what Hornets Nation is thinking about what has just happened with this buzz. I would just, discernment, find me. I would speculate that the majority of fans are cool with this because they drafted that Texas Tech kid. Okay, now Christian Anderson Jr., who knows? But Lamelo, every step of the way, who knows?
Yeah.
And by the way, if you were looking to, and this is not me making a proclamation, this is yours truly via wonderment. If you're looking to increase the maturity of your team, you're looking for more mature players.
Sure.
Who handle situations in bulldog-like fashion and or maturely. If the belief was, and this is source-related fact, that if you bring in Ja Morant, what does that do to the maturity aspect of your team? Okay, that's I've been told that.
But that's a problem.
But what is it with LaMelo? Can we genuinely say the maturity aspect, the bulldog leadership aspect of the team has gotten better? Personally speaking, I can't say that. And, like when the Knicks won the NBA championship, one of the first things I said was, Ant, see what Jalen just did? See what Brunson just did? That's next for Anthony, right? Just the stoic, kind of silent assassin type approach to things. And what did Jalen Brunson do? He carried the Big Apple to an NBA championship.
Yeah.
Well, that needs to be Anthony Edwards.
It does.
Yeah, when you pay somebody the way they've paid him, this is in no particular order, you have the overall skill set he has. His left-handed dribble has gotten so good the last 2 years. My man beat you with the right and the left off the dribble. Can out-rebound anybody when he wants to. Passing's good enough. Three-point shooting, extremely good. Court awareness, good to very good. As he ages, I think he's 24, a couple of years ago, the excessive amount of technical fouls, if we just have to be honest here, was completely unacceptable.
It was.
And in fact, you missed a game at Utah. They lost by 1, and you needed that game like you needed to breathe to get a better seeding in the playoffs. Is that all Anthony's fault? No. But do we really need to run up 16 technical fouls? Seriously. And how much of that plays into maturity? Okay, well, he's going to be 24, 25. So maturing as a man and as a professional, that's expected from Anthony Edwards.
And do you feel like he fixed that, though?
But now with LaMelo Ball, have we brought in a player that's going to amplify and help that? Because Anthony Edwards is still the A topic on this team.
Yes.
And getting players around him who can help him mature and become better, that's tantamount. That's paramount. Have we done that with LaMelo Ball? That's why I separated desperation, diabolical, and desire.
Yeah.
The desperate nature is we had to have one. This is the most equitable one. And Charlotte was cool letting him go.
Right.
Where I'm immediately like, well, why were they cool letting him go? Okay. Then you get to diabolical. The diabolical nature is we know that you know that we know that you know, but we know more than you. And we're catching him at a time where we ain't worried about, 4 or 5 significant ankle injuries, including multiple fractures. And we're getting him at the right time. We're putting him next to a guy with whom he's never played to that level, Anthony Edwards. We think McDaniels is better than Brandon Miller, and we don't care if you think Brandon's better. We're going to show you Jaden's better, and Jaden's a better defensive player than Brandon Miller the minute they get off the bus. So we got half the game right there settled. So we think that's really going to benefit LaMelo. So in diabolical-like fashion, we're going to low-key look the other way on the low-hanging fruit of injuries, and we're going to believe that this is going to make that guy better and everybody around him better. Then you get the desirous nature of it, which ties into desperation. Is your desire to fill the point guard spot with somebody who can give you 25, 7.5, 6.5 rebounds, steal and half a game, and make a bunch of threes, yet you got to sweat stepping on a fan's foot and losing him for 20 games? That's a thing with him. Okay, how did you mesh the desperation and the desire to make that move? And believe it or not, I'm not, high key tripping on Nasri leaving. Like Nas, valued member of the covenant, big man shooting threes, hard to find. When he started, for the most part, he did okay. Yeah, but it's kind of like having certain players at wide receiver, running back, tight end, and left tackle. Well, that's all great. Look at all these all pros. Well, how's your quarterback? See what I'm saying?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
So that's why I lay it out the way I lay it out.
It needs to be laid out that way. And so from the health standpoint, again, we were talking about the thinness of spots. How do you, my biggest question now in the near term.
Oh yeah, the percentage bit.
Percentage.
So I'm 72. I like it. 28. I'm overly concerned.
Yeah, I'm closer to. I'd be more than that. If that's the bar where you are based on how we've talked, I'm more of an 80-20 guy on this, and specifically in the moment, just trying to picture what that thing can look like. But you have laid it out fairly, and that clearly the franchise felt that way, given that they made this move, and they made the move probably after because they got 72 games out of them, because they had the potential, and still, by the way, an advantage for the Hornets getting, with still term on his deal. You're not sitting here peddling him, and it's potentially a rental with the injury history that he has. They get him with 3 more years left on his deal, so teams maybe feel like they can weather that storm a bit. This is a significant swing by Connolly, but those two working together is in my head right now incredible. And so solving what's
fascinating
it's fascinating, incredible. The optimism that I have on the high end for the possibilities between those two is very high. But to that end, what now do they do to continue to add? The way we were talking about Jaden McDaniels taking a step, and now you add somebody that's going to require that amount of possession in a game.
Yeah.
Does Jaden McDaniels, a big part of that Jaden McDaniels, Brandon Miller conversation is you see Brandon Miller pop out of the gates. He's throwing up 20 a game, I think, last year. And you're still seeing when you need him, and you needed him in the postseason, you see that from McDaniels. But during the regular season, he's kind of third or fourth fiddle on the team, and he's going 1 of 8, then the next night he's going 8 of 10, and kind of the ebb and flow there. There's a ceiling in this offense, or at least there was, in terms of what McDaniels was going to be able to do when he actually got fed the ball. So, but yeah.
Is McDaniels even the 3 on this team? Who's to say it's not Ayo Dosunmu?
Well, yeah, you don't pay him $100 million to sit on the bench.
Could be.
He's going to spend a fair amount of time on the court. So, and can Ayo grow into that? Yeah, I just, the way this thing is coming together is a home run swing, and the way you laid it out. But I'd say I'm 80-20 pumped for this thing, and just acknowledging that there may be moments as soon as this fall when it's like, oof. Yeah, I saw him roll his ankle trying to get through a screen.
Yeah.
And I'm sweating the injury report all night.
Right. Well, that's
a thing.
LaMelo Ball was questionable on the injury report for Charlotte last year. I'm telling you, no fewer than 80% of the games. And did he play in a majority of them when he was questionable? Yes.
Yeah.
But he wakes up questionable on the injury report.
He does.
And I still, whether people think I'm inflating it or not, that's fine. When you pay somebody $40 million, like he made last year, you get 72 games out of him, and he's playing 27 to 28 minutes a game, I'm curious.
Right.
I'm very curious, because superstars, which they're telling me he is, and they can have their opinions, I can have mine. I'm not calling LaMelo Ball a star guard until I see star guard in LaMelo Ball.
Now, he still did. He did quite well with the 28 minutes he was getting a game.
Oh, that's been analogous to his career.
So the management piece of it on the team side, that limits that. The last thing I'll say, just getting back to the maturity thing, there's apparently some driving related bit. The off court bit with Lamelo, and specifically some driving citations and various things that apparently
that keeps getting better.
Well. But so maturity as it is, we'll figure out Lamelo. He's 24. I hope that we aren't writing Anthony off as that he has no ability and to become that mature dog.
No,
he's still young, and I really believe that Ant can get to that dog level. Hopefully sooner than later. Right. I have a ton of faith in Anthony as we've watched the growth. Right. He fixed that technical issue from 2 years ago. Now another step needs to take place.
Yeah. You know what the next step is? What you saw with Jalen Brunson, what we've seen with Jason Tatum in the NBA Finals, what we've seen with Steph Curry in the NBA Finals. That's the next step. What we've seen with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander in the NBA Finals.
Last couple of years, yeah.
That's the next step. Can he get there? Can he get there? Yeah. Don't need we don't need a proclamation right now.
I believe
Can he get there?
Can. Okay. I believe he absolutely can. The will part clearly is up to our guy.
Back after this.
Our iHeartRadio.
Back News de Nord, brought to you by The Casino at Canterbury Park, CanterburyPark.com for event details. And it's poker, blackjack, and table games all year round. Live racing and play. It's a blast down in Shakopee. Check it out, CanterburyPark.com. Speaking of a blast, it was the 300th of Mookie Betts' career to get things going in the second inning, and that gave the Dodgers a one-run lead. They would follow up with 3 more in the third, and the final 4-3. The Dodgers sweep the Minnesota Twins. Kind of a fun little battle. It was pegged to be a fun little battle. It was Shohei Ohtani on the mound versus Joe Ryan, recovering from illness to take the bump. But they got after him a bit. 8 hits, 4 runs. He did have 9 Ks, did give up the Betts bomb, as I mentioned. Ohtani, they did get after him a bit as well. He surrendered 3 runs over 6, 2 of them earned. But the Minnesota Twins, you want to talk about the spectrum of good times and bad times. They go from the Dodgers, from the Mashers, from the favorites to win the World Series. The Colorado Rockies are in town this weekend. Maybe a little bounce back, maybe a little slump buster for your favorite hometown 9. They do have today off, and they start that series with Colorado tomorrow.
Hey, props to Twin Cities and Minnesota sports fans. The Twins have had trouble, selling out games or having crowds en masse.
Yeah.
Shohei Ohtani's pitching last night. Place is packed, jam-packed. Why? Because sports snobs get it. If Shohei's in town and he's pitching, I got to go see him.
I always love that one.
Covenant claps for me and Nordo to the snobbery that is the sports snob market, Minneapolis, St. Paul.
Well, that's what we were talking about earlier this week. It's not a mandate. Fans can do whatever they want, and we understand that there are extra conversations and opinions related to the baseball team, who runs it, etc. But for a team that was averaging in the teens, I think somewhere in terms of in terms of thousands of fans per game, they were averaging in the teens.
Wow.
For them to hit mid-high 30s in each of those games, that's good. And as we talked about, it's like, this is Shohei Ohtani. You look for unicorns, right? I want to take my kids to Target Center to see a Wemby game because I haven't seen that before.
There you go.
And maybe you're just a casual basketball fan, whatever. We have not seen Ohtani before until now. So when he comes to Target Field, you are not going to be disappointed. Oh, sadly, they also have Freddie Freeman. They also have guys that
Mookie Betts almost hit for the cycle.
From top to bottom can put that thing in the seat. So bring a glove, Twins fans, but enjoy it. And you did get to see Joe Ryan in the mix yesterday as well. So, but sadly, they got swept. Back at it tomorrow against the Colorado Rockies at Target Field. We've been talking so much about the Lamelo Ball trade, of course, and just to recap that quickly, the Hornets have sent Lamelo Ball, and then I think he's a shooting guard, Josh Green, to the Howl. And Naz Reid, a 2033 unprotected first-round pick, 3 second-round picks and some swaps. That goes to Charlotte. But that wasn't the only thing happening for the Minnesota Timberwolves last evening. Second round of the draft, pick 33 goes to this guy.
Duke. Evans, catch and shoot, bottom.
And he doesn't need much space at all. So good. Coming off of screens.
Isaiah Evans, a Duke guard. Give me that nickname one more time, PA.
Showtime Slim.
Showtime Slim. Showtime is that he shoots a bunch of threes and had some success. I think he led Duke in made threes last season. The Slim part, he's 6'6", $186. You can tuck him in carry-on luggage and call it a day. Showtime Slim Isaiah Evans. And I haven't watched a ton of his games, so this isn't going to be an elite analytical NBA future breakdown.
He'll play.
But he'll play,
Yep.
and he's going to get minutes early, I think. But again, perimeter scorer, and it's the athlete in this kid. When we were talking yesterday with Parker Fox, and it's like, at what stage of the draft? And maybe it's any stage of the draft, depending upon the crop. But at some point, you want the guy that's got tools. You want the guy that has certain traits that you can't teach on the hardwood, and you just want to get as many talented cats in your mix as you can. It sounds like this Isaiah Evans guy is one of those. And I saw rumors as well that this may have been somebody they even fancied at 28, but after the Julius Randle move and they moved back 5 spots, he was still available. So I can't confirm that. I'm not reporting anything here. I just hear that was a possibility.
He plays the Dante DiVincenzo spot, although I don't know if he can play point guard like Dante kind of can. But DiVincenzo with that Achilles, or whatever it is, he's going to be out for a long time.
The Achilles, yeah.
Yep. So now you got. I forgot to look this up. Is Bones Highland still in the mix, or is he a free agent? I know Jalen Clark's a free agent, but you have Lamelo Ball.
I think Highland's still here.
Lamelo Ball, Anthony Edwards, Ayo Dosunmu, Stifle Tower, and Jaden McDaniels. All right, that is a
UFA.
That is a Wow. So who were they using at point last year when it was Edwards and So DiVincenzo was playing a lot of point, and then Conley, right?
Yeah, Conley,
and then Bones and Ayo.
Bones in various mixes. Yeah.
So Ball, Edwards, Ayo, Stifle, and Jaden McDaniels. Do we like that more than the starting 5 we liked last year? I would say yes. Yeah, I know Randall's out and he gave you a lot and he can pass, but I'm gonna do like you did. It's you went 80-20, cool on the ball deal. I went 72-28, but it's 72. So if it's 72 and you have a true point who can be dynamic, I'm cool with that compared to last year. Then you got what? Terrence Shannon, you got Evans, Terrence Shannon Jr.
Yep.
And TKR, Kaufman Wren.
Yep.
Who am I missing in here?
I don't think you're missing.
Baron J.
In terms of filling things out. Yes. Baron J is going to get his 15 to 20 a night, too.
And you have your mid-level exception, which is for, it's like players like Rui Hachimura, who was brought up earlier. It's for players like Quentin Grimes. What was mildly intriguing to me, but it's basically a 0%er, but maybe it's a 2%er. Like Isaiah Hartenstein. Well, the OKC has a club option on him. He's like $28 million. So I don't even know if we could afford him. And that certainly ain't the mid-level exception.
Right.
But you would be pulling an important component from another team. And why I bring it up is because he is a center forward. Now, he doesn't shoot threes. That's fine. We got plenty of three-point shooters, especially with Evans. But you would be depleting an adversary, and you would be fortifying your front court depth so that you're not so super reliant on 20-year-old Baron J. I don't know how old the Purdue kid is, but he's a rookie. And, just looking to fortify something in the 4.5, 5 spot. Know what I mean?
Ooh, I do know what you mean.
But OKC has a club option. They will finagle their way to bring back Isaiah Hartenstein.
Because of how important he's been. I mean, that goes beyond just trying to deplete. You're depleting, in my opinion, maybe this is dumb, I think he's a core function within that in terms of how he operates with Chet. Yeah. And that really allows then, you're talking up top, they can do so much because of how confident and comfortable they are with what they have inside.
If they have a healthy Jalen Williams, San Antonio's not in the NBA Finals.
Yeah.
And Hartenstein is part of that as a core bit. Mm-hmm. And, it could be like, wow, look at his box score, just 8 points and 9.5. No, he matters a lot. That's why they went out and got him. That's why the Presti Cat went out and got him. You know who else is an underrated core member of the OKC Covenant? Alex Caruso.
Ooh.
People be like, Jordan Clarkson called and nobody freaking cares, Paul. Well, no, you don't get it. I mean, because he plays with SGA in big moments.
Yeah.
It's not just an SGA played 10 minutes and he's out and here comes Caruso for 4 and they just flip-flop. They do that, but Caruso will play in big minutes with SGA. He'll handle the ball. They'll put SGA off the ball. They'll make Jalen Williams their small forward, and they'll go with Hartenstein and Holmgren.
Yeah.
And then Ajay Mitchell, whatever his name is, he jumped up a little bit last year.
Oh, yes.
Cut into Caruso's minutes.
Didn't he get a little nicked up in the postseason, maybe?
And then Caruso was like, hold my beer. And he was fantastic in patches against the Spurs.
Yeah.
So, it's like with SGA, watch the game.
I don't like the headband, though.
First quarter, he'll play 10 minutes and he comes out. He'll play 11 minutes and he comes out. I mean, Lamelo played 4 or 5 minutes in the first quarter every game and came out.
I always love that one.
And he played 72 games at 28 minutes a game, making $40 million. Put up big numbers. Those box scores look great. Those box scores were terrific at times.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to get some 4 of 19 shooting terrorism, but nevertheless, those box scores can be really, really good.
I just wonder how that flow will look. We saw it in the postseason and even a fair amount where Anthony will play almost the entire first quarter.
Yeah.
And then he'll come back maybe mid-second, sometimes even earlier, depending, of course, postseason and maybe big spots or things gone the wrong way in a hurry. But yeah, you get half of that first quarter. You think? I'm asking you to say something that neither of us could project in this moment. But I just wonder how that flow will go. It will probably look a bit different. But again, I think Ayo is the value. Like, I'm not saying you forgot that he's here. I think that does provide some security there.
Yeah, because he can handle it.
Albeit a short sample size.
I agree.
We saw that in the end, that you still have to validate the 40-some million by being available, being on the court and balling out and all those sorts of things. There is a bit of security there with Ayo.
Okay, let's pause and let's take some talkbacks, then we'll play back Wes. But because there's more to say off what you just said. I mean, there are so many fascinating asides. Why? Because LaMelo Ball has had a career of the mercurial variety, of the enigmatic variety, of the superstar variety. All those descriptors, the adjectives, are all in the same fishbowl with LaMelo Ball. They're just under different rocks.
Yeah.
And we'll unpack that and get into some more stuff next.
This is 9 to noon on The Fan.
From the 1-800-ASK-GARY Traffic Center.
This report is sponsored by the new